How about we burn one down, take it easy for the day, have a good time tonight. Stay with me, everything's alright, have a good time tonight.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Corner of Gray Street podcast. I am Nolan, joined alongside by Bruce. I wish you were in person with me, Bruce, because this is a special one. I am in Charlottesville, outside of Miller's. Oh my gosh, this is too cool. It's closed, unfortunately, but I'm here. You can see it behind me if you're watching right now on our YouTube channel. But man, pretty cool to be able to do this here.
Looks awesome, Nolan. So jealous you're in Charlottesville right now. So many memories, so many reasons I'd love to be there. But alas, we had to have you there for a very special podcast. Obviously, you're there for more than just the podcast, but we can pretend, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, here for the Duke game. Big one tonight. But, figured I'd have a little lunch outside. It's beautiful out here and nice backdrop for us. A lot of history here. We've been here many times, two Millers. Actually seen Jeff and Rashawn perform here with John Durth back in 2012. So special memories here. But Bruce, we're going to talk about some new special memories we didn't get to have, but some people down in Mexico did, with just an amazing three-night performance at Riviera Maya Moon Palace with Dave and Tim. Let's just dive into it right now. I mean, this is a big-time weekend with big-time shows and songs and bust-outs and everything.
Yeah, speaking of FOMO and being jealous of people being somewhere, jealous of everyone that got to go down to Riviera Maya. Man, it so much more than just the shows, too, that is going on down there, obviously, and that's the whole reason you go. You're going to have just nights and nights of partying, days of partying, pool time, beautiful weather, and a little precursor to the shows was a little sound check by Dave and Tim that kind of happened. I think it was the day before, or was it the day of the first show? I can't remember exactly, but they did a sound check that had a couple of cool things in there, Nolan, and they sound checked actually the little tiny guitar, little tiny 12-string that no one really ever sees at Dave and Tim shows, and Dave threw everybody a little bone.
He did, yeah. I think it was the day before, and people were just chilling, getting ready for the next day, and all of a sudden they hear Shotgun coming out of the speakers, and Trish D&B captured a little video of that was making the rounds. Awesome work, Trish, as always. But yeah, he was playing it on the tiny red guitar, and then allegedly on the a new small, black 12-string guitar. I don't know what that is exactly, but what a tease. What a tease, Bruce.
Must be a backup of his or something.
Yeah.
And it just strumming the verse riff and all that. Just continuously doing it. He knows what he's doing. They didn't even pull out that guitar this weekend. So spoiler alert, you don't have to worry about Shotgun being brought up on the podcast. But that's pretty cool. Get to sit out, have a little extra Dave and Tim before the good times get going. And Nolan, the good times did get rolling pretty quickly on night one with a good time opener. How cool is that?
Oh my gosh, insane. First time played Dave and Tim. What a way to open up the weekend. First time played since Gorge 2014. I mean, that is the perfect way to start a show, Bruce. And if you're listening right now, you can probably hear some guy playing, and he's noodling on the banjo and singing, and it's like a harmonica action. So nice little vibes here in Seaville. If you're hearing anything that's not from Riviera Maya in the background, that is this Charlottesville native doing his thing, busting out here.
Oh, must be a Bela and Rustin Kelly hybrid with the banjo and harmonica going. But yeah, good version of Good Time there, pretty cool. And first time played Dave and Tim, I think, like you said. Some good lyrics in there. We won't really go over them right now. It seemed like some relevant stuff Dave was saying in there, obviously setting off the weekend for sure, but with some turmoil in the world, talking about war. love some stuff like that too. Anyways, first time played 2014. Awesome. Nolan, great way to get into the show. Bartender, typical opener there, but in the 2 slot. And then you get the typical Gray Street. Grace is gone. Dave and Tim seem to always place those. They front load their first shows of a weekend or something with those tunes because they're so damn good at them. But Nolan, why don't we get into exactly what occurred next, which is the first, Good Time was a huge surprise. So the next major surprise for the first night down in Mexico.
Too High, Bruce. That would be the next big surprise. That was, wow, unbelievable. Only the 12th time it's been played, ever, by anybody. Dave and Tim, Dave and Friends, Dave solo, maybe. First time Dave and Tim performance. That is bananas. Honestly, it's nonsense, but it's amazing that they played it. And Dave was feeling it. He was absolutely feeling it. First time played since 2006 at the Dave and Friends cruise. What?
Yeah, it's absurd. Absolutely absurd. No one could have predicted this. We've been asking for it for years. Full band, and haven't really necessarily thought about it for Dave and Tim, I guess. I don't know. But I was freaking out watching it on the Facebook stream. Shout out to Alex and Dave Bigler. Dave Bigler, will you dig my grave? I heard you, Dave. They captured pretty much everything this night, and Too High just absolutely made me want to crap in my pants there. It was pretty amazing, but they nailed it. Nailed the transition, which is kind of a weird part. They have to play this full band. They just have to. Don't make this a one-off, please. They have to play it. They have to. This would be so monstrous live.
Yeah, this is like a big thing for our podcast is the band not playing Some Devil songs live, and this one is peak. I mean, this would be so perfect for the full band. I don't get it, especially now that, like, Buddy on keys, like, he could do some incredible stuff on it. Horn section, Tim on electric on this would be incredible. But it was great. It was great acoustic with Dave and Tim, and man, they really nailed that jam at the end. I love that. That's, I think, some of the best music Dave has written. So this is incredible to hear, and we're going to listen to some of it right now.
We need it full band. That's it. That's all we're going to say after that. And then he follows that up with another Some Devil tune, Oh, and then a third in a row Some Devil tune, Up and Away. So they went 3 Busted Stuff tunes and 3 Some Devil tunes right there in a row. And Up and Away was something that we have been dying to hear. It is an incredible song. Only the 17th time ever, and they played it, well, Dave played it back in early 2021 for the Sirius XM request show, but before then it hadn't been played since that same Dave and Friends cruise back in 06. Played Dave and Tim in 05 back out in Vegas, but thank God they played it. Vegas, they need to play this full band as well. This would be incredible. Man, it sounded extremely good too. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't.
I know. I love the riff on this one too. As soon as the song starts, it's just like happy. It's a happy song. I don't know. Dave's vocals in this are always money. Need to hear it, full band. Need to hear it. But man, what a treat for the people down there. This was one we were really hoping we'd get for the Gorge. Didn't happen, thanks. But yeah, you know, played it on the Sirius XM thing solo. Thought we had a chance, but I'm glad it's making an appearance. And you know, why not? Maybe it'll be played this summer. We'll see. Kind of stumbled on the lyrics a little bit. Great summer song. Kind of stumbled on the lyrics a little bit and made fun of himself after, saying that he was getting old. But then Bruce, yeah, the next highlight was just okay. I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, bringing in the Stone after that start was just, it seemed a little ridiculous. Like, what is going on here? How can you not be having a good time at that point? Dave set it up. Good time, and he knew it. He knew it was coming. And it was a great version. You know, Tim was fantastic in the outro. Dave saying some of the Can't Help Falling in Love. Just beautiful, and just, you know, getting it on night one is just like, whoa, all right, here we go.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always good, Dave and Tim. I really like Tim's playing on this outro. It was, I mean, beautiful stuff from Tim, and seemed a little different, like a little, I don't know. The tone of it just seemed a little different to me than just the normal Can't Help Falling in Love intro. So kudos to Timothy on that outro. Probably hearing some of it in the background right now, but ooh, it is nice. It is sweet, and so is this next highlight. Sweet, Bruce.
Yeah, first time Dave and Tim played this since 2018, and only the 5th time ever. So that's pretty awesome. Sweet was fantastic last year on tour with the nice new slow jam. Buddy was adding some good stuff, and Tim with the full band, and then Tim obviously now Dave and Tim as well. So that was really, really good. Nolan and I really have always kind of liked that song. It's a good one. And
yeah, for sure.
The next couple tunes, we start getting into some typical Dave and Tim stuff with 41, Samurai Cop, and Jimmy thing. But Tim was showing off during that 41 a little bit.
Yeah, he was. This was the first time in the show where he was really just going off and like, hey, remember me? Remember what I can do on this one? Oh my goodness. He's just shredding.
Yeah.
And he, I feel like throughout this weekend there wasn't a ton of that, but when it happened, it was like, oh, yes. This is why we love
like
Dave
overall,
and Tim.
Yeah, and I think we'll get into it, but it seemed more overall like kind of more of a mellow weekend. Not a whole lot of just absolute Tim shreds. But speaking of more mellow, Virginia in the Rain, that's a podcast favorite. Everyone knows. And Nolan got to see it at the Gorge last year. So it was great to see that, Dave and Tim. And, after having kids, I think we could probably agree that it's a little bit more meaningful to us now. Just, lyric-wise can kind of get you a little bit. And so, that's a good one. Always love seeing that one pop up.
Yes, and listening to this and like the intro, I hadn't really noticed it before, but it's like the same kind of tempo and strumming as Save Me, just with different chords. Take a listen to that and see what you think. It's pretty similar. It's pretty cool. Maybe not quite as fast, but pretty interesting stuff from Dave. He's just a master at making the same thing sound different. Unreal. And then, Bruce, another highlight of this night. What is going on? Boa, Dave and Tim. Whew. It's just so good.
Yeah, and maybe there was another subliminal message from Dave. Good time we're gonna have, and then this was the best of what's around, and it really was. What a great way to kind of send us into the close of the first night here with best of what's around there. We loved it out at the Gorge when Dave opened with it, night 2 solo, so that was awesome. So they had that, and then your favorite song, Crush, and then a little Cornbread 2-step encore there for night 1 of Mexico. And man, you can't get too much better than a 2-step closer, no matter if it's full band or Dave and Tim.
Oh no, it's perfect, and that run is just silly. I mean, night 1 was amazing. I think that's probably my favorite of the 3 nights, which is interesting.
Ooh, you're already going there. Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and maybe like an interesting trend that we're seeing with. I thought the same thing at the Gorge. The first night was the best night, and I don't know. Usually you think night 3 is going to be the best night, or maybe the Saturday night too. But I've been thinking night 1 lately has been kind of the thing to see, and Dave's kind of proven me right here with this ending run, just absurd. And then Bruce, night 2, they kind of get things started right where they left off with night 1 with a weird little intro to Save Me, which starts out sounding like Save Me, and then morphs into Too High. It's like a Too High outro jam. Maybe this was a Too High reprise. I'm not sure. We know they sound checked it. Going into night 2. So Dave was clearly feeling it, and he better keep feeling it. I swear to God, Dave, you better keep feeling this one, man. Going into the summer, you have to. And then they go into Save Me. Bruce, what did you think?
Well, it kind of worries me because Mexico always gets, and it's kind of the Dave and Tim effect, but they always get these kind of one-offs for the year and some special stuff, and it's so far removed from any sort of tour with the band that it always, these songs, they don't stay in favor with Dave, or he doesn't remember that he played them, like whatever. So that always kind of worries me. I don't have any sort of expectation that they'll play Too High this summer, but it would be awesome. A little instrumental intro that was sick, unexpected, Save Me, always good, and then you go right into the 2 slot and really with Trouble. Another Some Devil tune, one of my favorite songs, one of my favorite Dave solo, not obviously. Another song that they need to be playing full band. Makes no sense that they're not. Dave and Friends used to kill it, and only the third time it's been played since 2006. I think they played it back in 2018 in Mexico. I know, third time, and just I don't understand it. Like this, another one. They need to play it full band. Give the other Some Devil tunes a rest for a while. Bring these out. Trouble is fantastic. I wanted more from it. I wanted it to continue to go on and on and on because I think I love it. I could hear that just dun 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 forever, and let Tim go. Just let him ride.
That'd be amazing. I think kind of like with the Too High intro to Save Me, they've just like kept going, kept playing it. And I was like, when is this going to end? And kind of wish they had never jammed out Trouble a little bit. That would have been cool. But man, amazing. Dave busting out everything for people down there. So cool.
I know, even funny the way it is. Can you believe it?
Yeah, this is. I didn't listen to this one, but you can tell Dave's voice is a little strained after night one, having a little bit of a tough time singing through these, getting warmed up. Struggles a little bit with the next highlight, but it really didn't matter. His voice could have sounded like whatever, and everyone would have been happy because the dodo bird was freed, Bruce. Finally.
I know. Unbelievable. Another one we want full band. Let's go, Dave. I know you're listening. Dodo is freed. It's been freed. First time Dave and Tim since 2017. And just, it's really a crime that this one hasn't shown up full band. And they kind of didn't extend this one either. I remember that Europe 07 bonus disc that had Dodo on it. It had a really nice Tim outro that could also have continued to go on forever and ever and ever. But this one, Dave kind of peters out and just lets it die. And it was kind of a theme for the weekend on some jams that I really wanted to be more extended. That, there are songs that we don't get to hear as much. So maybe go ahead and extend the jam so we can, so we can enjoy them a little more. But alas, that didn't happen. But this was awesome. Dodo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dodo. The last time it was played was in Europe, and it was played twice a week apart.
Thanks.
So random in 2017, and then it's only been played 13 times, Dave and Tim, in the history of Dave and Tim. So
that's ridiculous.
That is shocking. It's such a good song, great lyrics. It's amazing. But yeah, then we can't talk about Dave and Tim's show without mentioning Lie in Our Graves, Bruce. I mean, it is just a staple. It's incredible. It's a top 5 Dave and Tim song, and Tim shreds again.
Again, it was awesome. This was just a version you got to go back and listen to because all of them are for the most part, and this was just another fantastic one that they got down there. And then they have another Tim solo, kind of in that 10 slot as per usual. And we jump into another rarity that they need to be playing full band. The Dreaming Tree makes its appearance. Nolan, my God, it hasn't been played full band since 2015. Kind of has been played a few times, Dave and Tim. So it seems like this is how you're going to get that tune these days. If you're going to get it, you better go see a Dave and Tim show. But yeah, pretty cool intro there by Tim, and it good song. I mean, great song, great version. I don't know. I missed the song. I wish it was played full band. Maybe they'll bring it back this summer. Just another one of those things.
Yeah, I thought the intro was really nice. Tim just He just always knows the perfect notes to play on everything, and even just a song that they don't hardly play, it's just like, oh, that's perfect. Like,
It's unbelievable.
yeah, I mean, him and Dave are just joined at the hip at this point. It's amazing. Another amazing thing happened though, Bruce, following Dreaming Tree. A song that we kind of thought might pop up, or it could just be gone forever. You didn't really know. And it's Bismarck. It's back.
Yes, we've been asking for this song for a long time. This is one everyone on the podcast that's a fan of the podcast knows. We got some messages too that were kind of like, Great Street Pie guys, Bismarck, yeah. Exactly. That's what we were like. It was kind of it wasn't my favorite version ever. It wasn't the best. It seemed like that Dave was very timid on it, very nervous. I think he got tripped up maybe reading the teleprompter if he had one. I don't know if I'm sure he did.
Seemed like it.
I don't know for sure. Yeah, and just got a little lost and laughed at himself. Tim was dying laughing at him, but just another one of those ones that was a short version. They kind of ended it. I think they missed kind of the whole jam section. Dave just didn't do it, and it was a jumbled mess for the most part, kind of. But man, play it. Bring it back this summer. Can't wait to see it in Charlotte or Atlanta.
Yeah, I thought this was a really slowed down version. You mentioned maybe Carter's, what kind of speeds up the full band. But yeah, I thought it was a very like slow, soft version of it. And afterwards, Dave says that he should take out every other word of that song because it's so wordy. And
it is wordy, but
wordy, but
you nailed it in 2016. You just haven't played it, dude.
Yeah. Yep. And last time it was played was 2018 Riviera Maya. So keep playing it, man, and then you won't forget the words.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that difficult. And then right after that, they go with "Do You Remember," which sounds a lot like Bismarck sometimes. Just the way the songs are formed. And so that was interesting. But anyways, Ocean and the Butterfly pops up here. First time ever by Dave and Tim. So one of the first potential new album songs, I guess. We'll see.
Yeah.
So from last summer, one of those other new songs that we heard last year. Good song, good version. And we'll see if it makes an album that could potentially come out later. But yeah, I think that we both enjoy seeing that pop up. So good on them. First time by Dave and Tim.
Yeah, no, that was solid. Just a nice little song. And then Bruce, song that Jane likes. I love when it makes an appearance. You could hear that one at every show for sure. Been getting a lot more plays Dave and Tim as of late. Feels like, it's felt like, oh wow, Dave and Tim's playing a song that Jane likes. It's only been played 33 times by Dave and Tim. Before 2017, it had not been played Dave and Tim since 1997. So, wild.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
A wild stat.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool, though. Also, by the way, Jane was the shortest song of the night. Just has absolutely nothing else to it. It's just the song and boom, done.
Yeah.
It was only a few seconds longer than the Too High intro to Save Me.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting.
Pretty funny. Yeah, pretty funny. So one of Nolan's favorite songs came pretty much right after this with Death on the High Seas. He has been clamoring for this song for years. We saw it a couple times, I think in 2015, 2016 maybe, and he likes it better than Bismarck. It is one of his all-time favorites, and they played it.
Oh, man. Yeah, you go from one of the shortest songs of the night to one of the longest songs of the night. This is a 6-minute version of Death on the High Seas, and I think the piano playing in it is beautiful. But I think in a full band setting, it is a show killer. It is just like,
oh yeah,
oh my gosh, the momentum just dies, and like that's a pee break song or a beer run song for sure. enjoyed it in this setting. But, Dave talked about Bismarck being wordy. I thought this one got super wordy toward the end. And, I could not tell you what this song is about. It's like not memorable to me. I've said this before on the podcast. But anyways, nice playing by Dave. And afterwards he says, I like that one, except that I have to play it on the piano. Okay.
That's funny. Well, that was your choice, Dave, not ours. So, you can always change that if you'd like. Nice end to the set here. We get typical situation. Always awesome, especially Dave and Tim. Some beautiful stuff. Great playing by Tim. It felt like it was a little short-ish, but, honestly, I think it was still 7-ish minutes. I don't know, it just seemed short. But then we had Nancy's to end the set. That's another potential top 5 Dave and Tim song. Definitely top 10 for sure. That is just a staple that you cannot get out of the wood. You can't pull that one out because it is a freaking staple. And the encore didn't do a lot for me. I mean, Sister Watchtower, I feel like that is just that's an encore that you see pop up 10 times a year. It seems like full band, and singing it Dave and Tim is like, no thanks. I think the D&T, the Dave and Tim Watchtower, though, is pretty fire. And so is full band, but I don't know. Just looking at it on paper doesn't ever get me moving.
Nah, it's very underwhelming. But at least you end the night on a cool note with Watchtower there. They really kind of give it their all on that one.
For sure. And I remember before we end the night 2 talk pre-show, they sound checked Too High in full again. So precursor to what we talked about opening the show, Too High Jam. Well, they sound checked it earlier that day, and again, maybe you said that Trish also did the initial sound check videos too, and if so, thank you, Trish. I didn't know that was you, but someone was doing them, and this one was definitely you. You sent it to us, got some video of Too High being sound checked, which is awesome. I will save them forever because it is so cool. But yeah, Nolan, that was another cool thing that happened. That was before the show, night 2. But we go right into night 3, and here we go. The last night of the run here. We haven't had any guests show up, Nolan. They've had some, some opening bands and stuff. So I was wondering, number one, where the hell are a couple of the songs from last summer? I was thinking Madman's Eyes and Walk Around the Moon specifically. I'm like, man, what's going on here?
Right.
Number 2 was, where are guests? Are we going to get any guests tonight? I'm guessing we will. What's going to happen? And number 3 is one of those guests going to be a certain Trey Anastasio, who plays for Fish. Trey. Who plays for Fish, who's going to be in Mexico this week. I guess if you're listening to this podcast, whenever we release it, they could have already played. But they start on Thursday, February 24th. But so we'll see if we got any of those things answered. But Nolan, Dave actually threw everyone a curveball, even potentially Tim, with the opening song to night 3.
A new song. A very new song. Seems like Dave just wrote it. But it is called Something to Tell My
Maybe
Baby.
On stage.
Maybe. Something to Tell My Baby. It is Dave solo. He said Tim hasn't even heard this one yet. And there's not a lot of notes. So temper your expectations. And, man, this is a deep one. I love the sentiment in this song. You talk about earlier Virginia in the Rain, about being a dad and everything. This one got me. Beautiful stuff here from Dave, and I will tie it together to my son's favorite song right now and movie. Favorite movie is Coco right now, and the song Remember Me. He sings it all the time, and now he and I sing it together and to each other, and kind of similar sentiment from both of those. Amazing stuff from Dave. Maybe he was influenced by the movie Coco as well. Who knows? But yeah, might want the tissues ready for this one if you're a parent.
Something to keep us hopeful.
Interesting. My son and I, we like to sing together. So that's what we do. But I think that was actually just as good as this new song by Dave, to be honest.
Something to remind
I'm just kidding. Listened to this once, didn't do much for me, but honestly, I wasn't listening too deeply, so I will have to take another listen. On first listen, I was just like, man, I don't really care if I ever hear that again. But I will take another listen since Nolan says that it's deep and could potentially make me cry as a father. So I will take another listen and trust Nolan's word and his judgment here. Yeah, exactly. But they get into the show. Right after that, Tim joins Dave on stage. They do a nice One Sweet World, another nice The Maker. Is that a top 5 Dave and Tim song? The Maker? That's top 10, top 20. I don't know. Now I'm going down the list, but Maker's a good one.
It is a good one. I don't think top 5.
It's not top 5. Nah.
It could potentially be top 10. It's definitely up there, and obviously a beautiful song, but Tim's parts in this really just make it. They make the maker.
So Tim's the maker.
Tim is the maker of this song. He crafts it beautifully. It is perfect. Again, he just knows exactly what to play. I don't understand.
Yes.
It's like he's playing Guitar Hero, but he's just making up the Guitar Hero, and it's right on the spot. That's how I picture Tim envisioning what he's playing, and he's just like, oh yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. I think Tim sometimes even says, he said it, I think it was on the Radio City documentary, that he said even the wrong notes, those are the good ones.
Yeah.
Tim,
Amazing.
You don't play any wrong notes.
When you play that fast, I guess you can get away with it. But, man, how about this next one, too? And this such an underappreciated D&B Dave D&T song, Fool to Think, Bruce. And I might be jumping around a little bit, but we're just kind of going with the highlights here. But Fool to Think, everyone needs to hear this song live. I think it's the best song off of the Everyday album. I think it sounds like classic D&B. Well, now I'm thinking about that. I don't know. So Right, What You Are also pretty great. But those don't sound like classic D&B to me. I think Fool to Think is classic D&B. It's amazing, and Tim sometimes likes to get funky on this one, but a great version. Should be in constant rotation.
It's really good. I really like the kind of the breakdown section they do. They nailed it. They did a very good job, I think, of this one. It's a Dave and Tim sort of staple these days. If you look back on some of the set lists these last few years, it's bound to show up, and it seems like that's the way to see a date or a seat to Fool to Think is Dave and Tim. So
yeah,
that's pretty awesome and great that they got it. I'm jealous, and I hope to see it full band. I enjoy it too, so I'm right there with you. Then, Nolan, we get one of the first answers to my question going into night 3 is if we're going to get another new song that we got last summer. And we did. We got Walking Around the Moon. Yeah, Walk Around the Moon is a fantastic song. I really, really liked it from last year. We saw the debut, obviously, in Raleigh. We saw it a couple times. Oh, wait, no, we saw it in Charlotte. They didn't play it at the Gorge. Thanks. But first time played Dave and Tim. I thought that they were pretty much close to nailing it, in my opinion.
Oh, they definitely nailed it. Yeah, it was perfect. Dave mentions before the song talking about going on walks during the pandemic and how the pandemic lasted so long. All of a sudden there were new trees and bushes and plants where he used to walk where they weren't before. It's kind of a cool little Dave speak right there. But man, solid first play. Can't wait to hear this on the album. Really like Tim's fills on the intro. But yeah, I believe we thought the chorus was maybe better full band, but really like how it translated.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really the only part that kind of seemed a little weird, but it was fantastic. I can't wait to hear it the next time we hear it. So the next real highlight comes a couple of songs later with Little Thing. That's, I guess, maybe a little bit of a Dave and Tim staple. You get it every now and then. I think that they played it a lot in 2017 on those Dave and Tim tours. But, it hasn't been played a ton, honestly, over the past decade or 15, 20 years. Just a lot of teases, partials, all that good stuff. But it does show up every now and then. This was this was a good one. Some good effects from Tim, some good stuff on Dave's voice. I think they put a massive amount of reverb on there. So that sounded kind of cool. And then we got we got Too Much. So they kind of split up So Much to Say and Too Much there, with I guess a bunch of bridges of Tim solo, Little Thing, and then we get Too Much.
Yeah, and I guess Little Thing, I think of as a Dave and Tim staple just because when I think of Little Thing being played, I think of the Luther College version.
So good.
Incredible. But man, I think Too Much is a super underrated Dave and Tim song. Like, Tim adds so much on this one. It is so funky. This one, I mean, this one's up there as one of my favorite Dave and Tim songs.
Got it last year at Gorge, Dave and Tim.
I know.
Awesome.
So good.
So good.
Yeah, really good. And, the highlights keep coming. This one was just kind of interesting. If you love this song, don't like it, it was on Come Tomorrow, so you don't know, but Black and Bluebird never gets played full band anymore. Pretty interesting. First play since 2018. So this is another wordy one from Dave, a very wordy song, but Tim gives it that atmospheric, airy feel, vibe with his playing on this one, Bruce. And now your second...
the thing that the song is great at and they didn't put on the album.
Yeah, silly. But Bruce, now your second question is answered. We get some guests.
We do. And technically this wouldn't be a guest if we were out on summer tour with the full band. But
Yeah.
Buddy shows up. And apparently he had been there all week, maybe someone said. But they had some sound checking with Buddy that day as well. There was some noodling on the keys. Some people were tipped off, I believe. I did not know that Buddy was there until either the show was going on or something. But that was pretty cool. So he comes out and plays When I'm Weary with Dave. Beautiful. I really like that song. Only the third time ever been played. They never play that. I think Batson has been on it a couple times, Nolan. But Dave said that was the first time played with Buddy. Or maybe he was meaning Tim, but it wasn't the first time played with Buddy. So good call, Dave. Forgot about back in 2018. I think it was at MSG maybe. But good job, Dave. Yeah. Come on, like Almanac knows you don't know Dave. But that was pretty. I like that. And then they played Lying in the Hands of God, interestingly enough. Dave is obsessed with this song. He's truly obsessed with it.
Yeah, I think the whole band is. Remember what Franz said at the first show of the tour last year. He hopes the deep cut they bring back the most is Lying in the Hands of God. Not a deep cut, and because it gets played all the time. And truly great on the album. But, yeah, they just beat this song to death. Beat it to death. It's got the, I don't know, bourbon and lax interpolation. I don't even know what that means. Cool. ABI interpolation, of course.
I could have done without that.
Cool to hear Tim and Buddy working together on that one, but I thought a cooler one they played was Steady As We Go next. First time played at a Dave and Tim show. It was cool. It's cool to see, trying something new. Love that. It seems a little surprising at first. It was the first time played at a Dave and Tim show, but I guess it makes sense. That just doesn't seem right, but Dave sounded good. Tim had some nice accompaniment. And Bruce, more guests.
Yes, more guests. And this is going to be maybe my favorite stretch of the weekend because of the guests and just the sound of all the songs. But they welcomed, as Dave tried to pronounce, I'm going to try to pronounce his name as well, Bernardo Aguilar and Gabriel Policarpo. I don't know if at all of those are good, but they're from Brazil. And shout out Rodrigo then as well then here. So, and he was... Welcome back, Rodrigo. We are so excited that you got to be there and got to be around Dave and Tim and the music again. Welcome back. We hope to see you again this summer. And so that was awesome. And some fantastic pictures coming from him.
Yeah, what? So Bruce, one of them played tambourine, and what? I hear tambourine and bongos. Is that what was going on?
Yes. So I don't know the exact names. It's like pandero and repique or something are the technical terms, I think. But yeah, it's like a bongo, and they could stuff like that, and then it was like a tambourine. But it could have been more than that from the sounds of it. I'm not sure if they shuffled back and forth, but it sounded really, really cool. And they started their guest spot off with Warehouse here, Nolan, and baby, so good. Like Dave and Tim nailed this song, but this is possibly one of my favorite Warehouses that I've heard in quite a while. Very awesome intro by everybody. I mean, by everybody. And the whole song is fantastic. I think you had to agree, right? That was one of the highlights from the entire weekend.
Oh, for sure. The intro alone was just amazing. I was doing some stuff I was listening to, and I was like, what are they playing right now? What song is this? Warehouse. Sick intro. Everybody sounds good on this one. I mean, it's really good, and we're gonna play some of it right now, obviously.
Yeah, there's no way to go this entire podcast and not single that intro out because of how good it was. Just absurdly good, and the rest of the song was as well. The salsa jam-ish thing going on was fantastic. Buddy sounded really good. I don't know. It was just really good top to bottom Warehouse there. And this whole run really kind of is that. I mean, literally all four of these songs that we're going to go over here, top to bottom, they need to be listened to in full by everybody that can hear us right now. I mean, they are so good. And Nolan, pretty much any iteration of Warehouse is good, and so is this next song, Don't Drink the Water.
Oh, yeah. No, you can hear the guest on the outro of this one pretty well. I mean, just a great version, nice intro. They get into it. Don't Drink the Water. Then from there, we get Minarets. Kind of a dark run there. Some ominous, angry lyrics. Don't drink minarets. Love it. And then, okay, another sick intro. This is the weekend of sick intros, I guess. Ants. You can hear everyone doing something cool on this one, and it's unlike any version of Ants I've ever heard. I don't know what you think.
It really was. And there was a little video afterwards posted of them practicing this in the practice room, and Dave kind of watching them and being like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
And Buddy thinking it was awesome. And they did that on stage. They replicated it there. They did a really great job there. Dave came in at an awkward time. I was kind of waiting for a little more percussion solo. Let him go a little bit, Dave. Come on. Dave cut him off, maybe. But fantastic version of Ants. The ending was fantastic with Tim, Buddy, the two guests there, the percussionists, excuse me. They were crushing it. They had a solo section too. And I think that Buddy added some stuff throughout, like the that almost reminded me of like Tracks DMB 92, like if Peter Greiser was playing those. Millers. Yes.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it reminded me of that a little bit. And what a great way to end the set of night 3. That was a great run. What a cool guest spot.
Oh, yeah. Man, that was so cool. What a way to cap it off. And I don't know, I might be rethinking my night 1 being the best night. I don't know. These guest spots were pretty good. That's a tough one, man. They got 3 great nights here. But let's jump to the encore with more guests. And yes, the one and only Trey Anastasio from Tab. I don't know if you've heard of Tab. That's what he's most known for, the Trey Anastasio band.
Yes.
Trey joins them, shockingly, to play the Fish song Waste. Beautiful song. He and Dave have played this many times together. Always cool. They played it last time. They were in Riviera Maya along with Bathtub Gin, but this time Waste and Everyday, Bruce. And Everyday is not the song that you would really expect for Trey to guest on. And when I saw it pop up on the set, I was like, really? But listening to it, it's a very full sounding Everyday. You got 3 acoustic guitars going. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good. Waste is always good. Interestingly enough, Trey was not listed on the main set list to be on the paper scan. So I don't know if it was an impromptu guest spot. Trey showed up. They didn't know if he was going to get there in time. Trey just showed. I don't know what happened, but Trey was not on the paper set list, on the listed set there. So it was supposed to be Windows and Everyday. So Trey comes and they play Waste, and then they obviously played Everyday. But that was cool. I think they used to do Everyday back in those Dave and Friends days when they play like basically the same sort of Dave and Trey encore. They used to do like Everyday, Bathtub Gin, Waste, I think.
Yep.
3 Little Birds would show up, and they would. Dave and Trey used to look high as hell when they used to do that, but that kind of reminded me of that back then. But we added Tim this time, so that was fantastic, and that was really, really good. So it's always good to see Dave, Trey, and Tim on stage together. Would love to see Trey play with the full band, or would love to see another Dave and Friends situation go down. Maybe they could create another album. That would be awesome. We need a D&B album first.
We need a D&B album, and we need a Dave and Tim album first before we go back to Dave and Friends. I think that's got to happen, and I think it will one day. But then, Bruce, they're not done. There's a second encore. Some Devil, Rapunzel, and then Singing from the Windows, Dave solo. Interesting way to close it out. Nice to do a second encore, and nice to have 3 songs in it. That's, I don't know, kind of giving the people their money's worth there for sure.
Yeah. Well, Rapunzel is awesome, Dave and Tim, by the way. I think everyone can agree with that. It's so good. And the Windows, Nolan, was actually a 3rd encore. Dave just came out, Dave solo, played that. So he bookended night 3 with a solo track. Yeah. So 3rd encore, I'm sure people were like, okay, so now Tim's going to come out and play something, and then we'll be out of here. But no, they ended Singing from the Windows, just Dave. Interestingly enough, sending you back to wherever you came from, home, with Singing from the Windows, and really leading us into, I guess, our summer tour, because that's kind of what we got on the schedule. We don't have much before they kick it off in Austin, Texas here in just under 3 months. So that's all we know of that's going to happen. But what a fantastic weekend, Nolan. That was a really fire way to end the weekend. I'd say besides a Dave solo Windows closer, but I mean, whatever. Like, who cares? After you got all of that, pretty awesome.
So good.
And yeah, exactly. So good. And first off, I wanted to ask you what your favorite night was. I know at the beginning you were saying night 1, and then now you're talking maybe night 3. What was your favorite night from this weekend, and how would you rank them, I guess?
Oh, wow. Interesting. Gosh. I think the genuine surprises in night 1 with Good Time, Too High, Up and Away, and then mixed in with all those classics. I think I'm still going to go with night 1. And then I'm going to go, dang, I would have said night 2. I'm gonna go night 3 because of the cool guest spots, and then night 2. But I mean, really, it's a toss-up. They're all so good. You could pick any one.
Yeah,
what about you?
It really is. It really is. I think if I went off paper, I would go night 1, night 3, night 2, or maybe even night 1, night 2, night 3 in a row. But after listening, I was really struggled to say night 3 was better than night 1, but I really have a dilemma. I struggle to say one's better than the other. They were fantastic. Yeah. And when you've got 2 of the 3 shows that you're arguing are the best, by far, and you're just like, man, they're so good, I can't. It makes for a fantastic weekend. Tremendous. And I really, really, really like the guest spots on night 3. But yeah, the surprises from night 1 really got me. And night 2 is no slouch now. Night 2 is no slouch. Don't sleep on night 2. But those others are just from another world. And then what do we think? I mean, this has to be, I think it's one of the best ones, if not the best Mexico weekend they've done. And I feel like they've built on the momentum from the years prior every single time.
Absolutely. No, I haven't done a deep dive on all of the Riviera Mayas. They've gotten like nice stuff sprinkled throughout all of them, but this one had consistently each night like nice surprises. So I'm gonna have to give the nod to this one. But if you're listening, let us know if you've been to all of them, if you've been to most of them. If this was your first time, hit us up and let us know what you thought about it, and love to get your feedback on that. And hopefully we can go one year. I don't know. It's it'd be nice.
What we'll do is set up a Gray Street Pod Venmo account, and people can start making donations to the podcast, and that'll be savings for Mexico 2023 or 2024 or whatever. I mean, Dave did say it's not the last time they'll be there, so
he did.
He confirmed they'll be back. They'll be back.
I know. They'll be back, and Bruce, we're going to be back on the road this summer. We're excited. We got our warehouse confirmations, as I'm sure everyone else did who's listening right now. Man, we are stoked. Bruce, we're going to hit up 3 shows together, which is super exciting. So Bruce and I will see you in Charlotte and Atlanta, May 20th and 21st. And then, Bruce, you're going to be in your hometown, Jack's, both nights with sweet seats. Really nice, small amphitheater, small venue. That's going to be awesome. And then we will reunite again for the Raleigh show. It's going to be awesome, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, it was great. We pretty much confirmed for everything there. Sorry to one of my friends that were declined for SPAC. Seems like a lot of SPAC declines this year, as per usual. But yeah, those are tough tickets. But we were confirmed for everything. We may not have gotten number 1 pick on reserve for every single show. I think Charlotte and maybe Raleigh. I didn't get my top tier selection, but whatever. Yeah. That'll be perfectly fine. We're in the building, and we can't wait. Hopefully everyone else got confirmed for what they needed to get confirmed for. If not, Friday, public sale. All right? Battle it out with the bots. It's the battle of humans versus bots, and humans never win.
So sad, but
I'm so glad.
That's right. It'll all work out. I know. Thank you, Warehouse. Thank you, Charlottesville. Thank you, Millers.
Yes.
Thank you, Dave and Tim, giving us incredible content to talk about, and amazing timing for this to work out. It's been pretty cool sitting here, and I know I've been looking all over the place. There's so many people around, which is nice to see, especially after we went a year of not seeing anybody. It's nice to be somewhat back to normal, and just what a gorgeous day. Nice to be out here enjoying the weather, talking to you, the scenery of Miller's. Special place in the DMB world, the Mecca, right here. Maybe we'll be back in Charlottesville sometime later in the year. Who knows? Maybe this fall or winter. We'll be back together. Hope so. But, Bruce, why don't you tell everyone where they can find us on socials?
Yes. Such an awesome backdrop there, by the way. Just so cool. I love that you were able to do that. But yeah, follow us at Gray Street Pod, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Oh, I think it's Corner of Gray Street Podcast on Facebook. But whatever, you know what I mean. GrayStreetPod@gmail.com. Shoot us emails. Maybe if you had a great Mexico weekend, a good story or two to tell, send it over. We'll pass it on. And we love interacting with you all on the socials. So follow us there. And by the way, if you're still listening and you haven't yet, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. That would be fantastic. iTunes, whatever it is that you rate with positive comments. That would be awesome. We really appreciate it. We love you guys. Thank you so much. And not only will we see you next time at Miller's, at the corner of Miller's in the downtown mall in Charlottesville, not only will we see you next time in Charlotte, Atlanta, Jacksonville, and Raleigh, but we'll see you next time on Nolan,
the corner of Gray Street.